In this video, I'll be using group policy to deploy Slack. I will use two different deployment methods. One is where we create group policy for our computers, and then the computers install the software during startup. Another one is where we create a group policy for our users, and then the users themselves install the software whenever they like. I'm starting this video from my GitHub page, and here you can find more of my videos that are related to this topic. For example, here you can find my Windows Server setup if you're interested in that. And also here you can find extra group policies and settings that I'm using when I'm deploying software using group policy. And I will leave the URL in the description down below. And now I will begin this video by downloading Slack installation files, and for that I will use the link that I have here. That brings me to the Slack page called Workspace Administration. And here we have two different types of installers. One is per user deployment, another one is here it is, machine-wide installation. And for this video, I will be using the machine-wide installation, but you should read through the differences here and here to see what's better for you. So now I will click on the link here to download the 64-bit version, and the download should start. Then I will go to my downloads folder, and here I have my MSI file for the deployment. And now I will right click on the file, select copy, and then I will go to VMware Workstation where I have my Windows Server environment. For now I will minimize the server manager and I will move the MSI file to my desktop. And from the desktop I want to move it to a network share that is accessible to our users and computers. So for that I will open File Explorer and enter my file server name, and for me it's SRV02. As you can see I have a share named software. And in this share, I will create a folder named Slack. I will go inside of that folder and move the MSI file into it. And here you need to make sure that you have the correct NTFS and share permissions. For example, if I go to Properties and Security tab, then Edit, you can see that I have authenticated users with read permissions. And I have this for my NTFS permissions and also the share permissions. And authenticated users covers both users and the computers in my domain. That means that both users and computers can access this share and execute files from it. So make sure that you have the correct permissions, and now we can go back to the server manager and start creating our group policies. So from the server manager, I will click on Tools and then click Group Policy Management. Then I will right click on Group Policy Objects and select New. And the first policy that I will be creating will be for my domain computers. It's where the software is installed during the startup. So I will name this policy Assign Slack, and I will click OK. I will expand Group Policy Objects, right click on the newly created policy and click Edit. And because this configuration is for our computers, we need to go to the computer configuration, policy, software settings, and software installation. In the middle of this window, I will right click and go to New and select Package. Here you need to make sure that you're selecting not a local file like I have here in my desktop, but a file that is located in a network share, because it will allow you to select a file from your desktop, but when the computers will try to install the software, the installation will fail because they will not have access to this server's desktop. So always make sure that you're selecting a file that is located in a network share. So to go to the network share, I will click here, and once again I will enter my file server name, SRV02, go to my software share, Slack, and select the file. Here I will select Advanced and OK. Then I will go to Deployment and Advanced. And here I will select Ignore Language when deploying this package, because I want to deploy this package no matter what's the language on the client machine. And I will click OK and OK. And we are done creating our policy, so I will close this window. Then I will select the policy, go to Details, and for GPO status, I will select User Configuration Disabled, because currently this policy only has computer settings in it. And I will leave all other settings on default. Now, after creating the policy, we need to link the policy to an organization unit that is holding our computers on which we want to install the software. And for me, the organization unit will be this one, the main computers one. So to assign the policy, I will click and hold on the policy and then drag and drop it on the organization unit. And I will click OK here. As you can see, the policy appeared here and also in the list here. And after assigning this policy, we can go to one of the client machines that is located in this organization unit to see if the policy is working. And for that, I will go to my client 01 that I have here, that is located in that organization unit. And here, the first thing that we want to do is to update our group policy. So for that, I will go to the start menu, I will type CMD, and then I will type GP update and press enter. Now let's wait for the policy to update. And as you can see here, the group policy update was successful. And also here we see an informational message saying that it detected a software installation package. And for the software to install, the computer needs to be restarted. So to restart the computer, I will type shutdown -R -T0 and press enter. And now let's see what happens. And as you can see here, the computer is informing us that it is currently installing the Slack package for us. So now let's wait a bit, and it seems that it's done. So I will sign back in, and here we have our Slack desktop shortcut, so I will double click on it. And it gives me the sign in screen. So it seems that Slack is working just fine. And that's it for deploying Slack to our computers. Now let's create another group policy where we create a group policy for our domain users, and then the domain users themselves can install the software whenever they like. So for that, I will go back to my server. I will right click group policy object, select new. This time I will name the policy publish Slack and click OK. Then I will right click on the policy, select edit, and this time, because this policy is for our users, we need to go to user configuration, policies, software settings, software installation, right click in the window here, go to new and select package. Once again, make sure that you're selecting a package that is located in a network share, so check the link. And it seems that it is located in my network, so I'll double click on the file, select advanced and click OK. Then I will go to deployment, and installation user interface options, I will select basic, because I don't want to give my users any options to select during the installation process. And I will click OK, and we're done creating our policy, so I will close this window. Now I will select the policy, go to details, and for GPO status, this time I will select computer configuration settings disabled, because this policy currently has only user settings in it. And once again, I will leave all other settings on default. Now we need to assign this policy, but this time we need to link it to an organization unit that is holding our users. And for me, it will be this organization unit right here, domain users. So to assign the policy, I will click and hold on the policy, and then drag and drop it on the organization unit. Then I will select OK here. And after linking it, now we can test it. So for that, I will use my other client machine that I have here, client 02. And here I have this shortcut on my desktop that allows me to install the software from the network. So I'll double click on it. And as you can see, the list is currently empty. And to fill the list, we need to update our group policy. So for that, I will go to my start menu, type in CMD, and open it without administrative privileges. And I will type GP update. And as you can see, group policy update was successful. So now we can refresh our software list in the screen here. And as you can see, we have our Slack package. So I'll double click on it to start the installation. And it installed successfully. Here I will select OK, and then I will run Slack from my desktop. And once again, we get a sign-in screen. So Slack seems to be working just fine. And that's it for this video. In the future videos, I will show you how to deploy Slack using other software deployment tools. So like and subscribe if you want to see that, and see you in the next one.